Picture this. You're at a cafe paying $12 for a plate of avocado toast. Or maybe you're at the grocery store buying ingredients for Super Bowl guacamole. Avocados are everywhere. They are the ultimate symbol of healthy eating. In fact, Americans alone eat over 3 billion pounds of them every single year. But what if I told you that the healthy fruit sitting in your kitchen right now is secretly funding some of the most dangerous, violent criminal organizations on the planet? In Mexico, ruthless drug cartels have found a brand new product to sell. Only this time it's 100% legal. They call it green gold. Cartels realized a terrifying economic truth. They can make billions of dollars selling avocados to American supermarkets, with almost zero risk of going to prison. This is the deadly truth about green gold. In this video, we are going to uncover how drug cartels hijacked the $15 billion global avocado supply chain, how they force innocent farmers to pay a secret tax, and how the $4 you spend at the grocery store is secretly bankrolling a criminal empire. To understand how a mafia takes over a fruit, you have to understand basic economics. Supply and demand. In the early 2010s, the superfood craze took over the internet. Suddenly, everyone wanted avocados. Global demand skyrocketed by over 400% in just 2 decades. But there was a massive problem. Supply could not keep up. Avocados are incredibly picky. They need very specific soil and weather to grow. And there is only one place on Earth with the perfect volcanic soil and climate to grow avocados all year round: the Mexican state of Michoacán. Because Michoacán is the only place that can supply avocados in the middle of winter, they hold a massive natural monopoly. Today, roughly 80% of all avocados eaten in the United States come from this single region. Whenever you have massive global demand, a severely limited supply, and a product that is highly valuable, you create the perfect breeding ground for organized crime. Enter the cartels. Organizations like the Jalisco New Generation Cartel and Los Viagras don't just act like street gangs. They operate like ruthless Fortune 500 companies. They looked at the economics of their business and realized something important. Smuggling illegal drugs across the border is incredibly expensive, risky, and attracts the US military. But exporting avocados? That's entirely legal, heavily encouraged, and makes an estimated $150 million a year just in extortion money for the cartels. So they moved in. But the cartels didn't want to do the hard work of farming. Instead, they used a forced economic model called El Piso, or the floor. It's an extortion tax. Cartel hackers literally breached the Mexican government's agricultural databases to find out exactly who owned which farms and how much land they had. Armed men then show up at the farmer's house and demand a tax of $100 per hectare of land, and another tax of 10 cents for every pound of fruit shipped. If the farmer refuses to pay, the cartel burns down their orchards. Or worse, they kidnap their families. Eventually, many farmers just flee, allowing the cartels to steal the land and become the farmers themselves. So, how does a blood-soaked avocado get from a cartel-controlled farm to the produce aisle of your local Walmart? Through a process called fruit laundering. Just like laundering dirty money, cartels have to make their dirty avocados look clean. They do this by hijacking the packing houses. They take the avocados grown on stolen land and mix them into boxes with legally grown avocados from honest farmers. Once those avocados are in the same cardboard box, they are given official export stickers. By the time that truck reaches the US border, it is mathematically impossible for customs agents to tell which avocado funded a cartel and which one didn't. The US government knows this is happening. In fact, in February of 2022, the United States completely banned all Mexican avocado imports. Why? Because a U.S. agricultural inspector working in Mexico received a credible death threat on his official cell phone from a cartel. The ban sent shockwaves through the global economy. Prices skyrocketed overnight. But because the U.S. relies on Mexico for 80% of its avocados, the economic pressure was too high. The ban was lifted just a week later. The cartels won. But the violence is only one half of the equation. The other half is basic environmental economics. When a single crop becomes this profitable, greed destroys the ecosystem. To make room for more green gold, illegal loggers are setting fire to Michoacán's protected pine forests. They burn down ancient trees just to plant more avocado orchards. Experts estimate that nearly 50,000 acres of forest are illegally destroyed every single year just for this fruit. Then there is the water monopoly. Avocados are incredibly thirsty. It takes roughly 74 gallons of water to grow just 1 single pound of avocados. That is a massive drain on local resources. To maximize their profits, cartels and massive corporate farms are illegally siphoning water from local lakes and underground aquifers. They are literally draining towns dry, leaving the local citizens with no drinking water, just so they can export more fruit to American grocery stores. The global avocado market is projected to reach an astonishing $26 billion by the year 2030. There is simply too much money on the line for the cartels to ever walk away. So what is the solution? Should you stop eating avocados? Economically, a boycott might actually do more harm than good. If Americans stop buying avocados, the honest, hard-working Mexican farmers who rely on this crop will go bankrupt, leaving the cartels with even more power and cheap land to steal. The truth is, until governments figure out a way to trace every single avocado back to the exact tree it grew on, the green gold rush will continue to have a dark, bloody shadow. And sadly, avocados aren't the only healthy food controlled by a violent underworld. If you learned something new from this video, then like and subscribe, and also share the video with your friends. Your small support increases my motivation a lot. We will meet in the next video with a new topic. Until then, take very good care of yourself.